Good morning, Dr. Annalyn B. Enarda, to all my fellow classmates. This morning, I'm going to discuss the organizational behavior as a way of thinking and acting, and my topic is the roots of organizational behavior. Frederick Taylor, 1911, best known as the father of scientific management, is representative of this traditional perspective on the human behavior. Under scientific management, the initiative of the employee, their hard work, their goodwill, their ingenuity is obtained practically with absolute regularity. Taylor believed that if managers studied the best way for tasks to be performed, those tasks the workers would be induced to perform as expected by paying them a base rate, a set amount of money for tasks. Taylor, 1911, is quoted as saying that it is possible to train an intelligent gorilla. Well-trained employees are essential to any business or become better workers in organization, whatever the status in social life, attitude and behaviors, and personal traits. If you are willing to train and belong to a workforce, you can learn new skills that can improve your personality growth. It helps you develop the best techniques and believing that you will be more adaptable in your professions and workplace. Nick Kaufman, or Rick, 1940s, as cited, our recognition of the motivating desires of the individual and of the group. Cognition of motivating refers to the influence of motives on various thought processes such as memory, information processing, reasoning, judgment, and decision making. One example of a cognitive process influenced by motivation is a memory. People tend to remember successes more than failures. Most people believe they are better leaders than average if they define leadership according to their own personal strength. The Hawthorne effect. The people change their behavior when they know they are being observed. The Hawthorne experiment showed the human behavior and motivations are complex. Why? Being influenced by attitudes and feelings and the meanings that people assign to their work and the relationship at work. According to the research, human problem requires a human solutions because technology cannot solve human problems. Like for instance, a student will suddenly become unattentive and excited about learnings because his cell phone has been taken from him. In both cases, the problems and solutions do not lie with the technology, but within the people themselves. Not about technology, but about human behavior. Chester Barnard's 1948 was emphasized the importance of human cooperations in organizations. Cooperation is not an easy thing to achieve in the workplace, but the effort is worth it because it leads harmonious and productive, and things get done more quickly and efficiently. In humans, many different control mechanisms such as reward and punishment, ostracism, reputation building, etc. Work maintains and stabilizes cooperation, ensuring partners cooperatively and cheaters are kept under control. Like for instance, sharing materials or personal belongings with another person, cordially working together to create a presentation or report in the job, agreeing to compromise when a conflict and disagreement arises, and including of members of a group in a discussion or team meeting. Through individual and teams, the organization absolutely achieved its missions. As cited Westward 1987, cited as, we are likely to modify our own behavior when we participate in problem analysis and solutions, and we are more likely to carry out decisions we have helped make. The rationale of including worker in problem solving decision-making teams was established later as a result of collaborations. You can never solve a problem on the level on which it was created, Albert Einstein quoted. In the early stage of problem, you need to have strong observational skills, demonstrative lateral thinking, and analytical abilities. This will help you properly assess what's going on and pinpoint the core cause of the issue. Implementing your solution requires its own skills sets. This typically requires careful balance of teamwork and leadership. Seligman 2002, Positive Psychology. Instead of focusing on what was wrong with people, positive psychology would focus on positive experiences. Human beings could use their talents to create positive institutions, what would in turn promote even greater and positive circumstances for individuals and groups. The positive psychology focuses on positive events and influences in life, including positive experiences like happiness, joy, inspiration, and love. Unconditional love is one of the most important, like for instance, our children's and our family. Cameron and colleagues 2003b. Imagine a world in which almost all organizations are typified by greed, selfishness, manipulations, secrecy, and a single-minded focus on winning. Wealth creation is the key indicator of success. Distrust and anxiety will characterize individuals in those organizations, and social relations would be strained. Imagine another world in which almost all organizations are typified by appreciations, collaborations, and vitality and meaningfulness. Creating abundance and human well-being are key indicator of success. Daniel Goleman, Social Intelligence 2007. Goleman identifies a human predisposition to be aware of and sensitive to other human beings. Human behavior is purely rational. The emotions play a central role in all aspects of organizational behavior. That is why we need to respect human beings. It is important because it helps us to feel safe, build feelings of trust. The best way to be sensitive to other people's feelings is listen carefully to what they have to say and speak kindly. So if you have great sensitivity, then you're aware and behave in a way that makes them feel good. Near and Otto 2002, findings indicate that a good management and good leadership clearly make a difference. This research has shown the employees who engage in their work essentially double their odds of success when compared to those who are less engaged. Moreover, employee engagement clearly made a difference in terms of productivity, quality, and customer service. The survey investigated how employees became engaged and found that managers using positive leadership behaviors such as strength-based approach, meaning maintaining a positive perspective when difficulties arises, and providing frequent recognition and encouragement were a key factor in employee engagement. The themes and purposes of this book: the importance of understanding the behavior motivations and actions and individual is in the public service. First, in our view, public administration courses should focus on individual. We assume that a key success in public administration is the ability to understand and influence the behavior of individuals and groups. Moreover, we assess the public managers must learn to manage change and reflect on their own behavior and motivations in developing the capacity to manage others. For this reason, this book focuses on the individual public servant, how and why individuals behave as they do, how students can act with greater probability, of success in influencing the behavior of others, and how they can improve their own capacity to act as individual managers and public servants. In other words, the effective and responsible management of organizational behavior requires that public managers understand and develop a capacity to manage their own behavior. Requires that public managers understand and develop. Okay, to manage others, we must start with ourselves. We must learn to manage our own behavior and understand our motivations and perception of ourselves. We must know ourselves, our style, our strengths, and our limitations. We must learn to distinguish our motivations, preferences, and worldviews. For those of others, we must have a sense of directions, a willingness to explore and take risks, and a good understanding of how we can learn from our administrative experiences over time. Beyond the personal level, public managers are involved with other people in the organization, bosses, co-workers, and subordinates. To interact effectively with these people, public managers need to develop strong interpersonal skills in areas such as communicating with others and motivating others, working with facilitating groups and teams, understanding and employing power and influence. They need to be cultural aware, especially in multicultural global society, and treating humans with respect and dignity is an important value in its own right. Organizational behavior is fundamentally grounded in idea the improvement to organizational processes, structure, and performance require managing through people. But while approaches that ignore or disrespect people may get result in short term, they do not build responsible, engaged, and civic-minded employees or citizens. Second, a focus on the distinctiveness of management and leadership in public organizations. This issue of publicness is lead to next major perspective of the book. We believe the compelling nature of the political environment and the nature of public service make public management distinctive. Specifically, it is our firm belief that organizational behavior in the public sector is different, that public administration is in many cases significantly affected both by the particular requirements of public sector work and by the important tradition of democratic participation and commitment to the public values that underlie work in a public organization. Public manager must be fully attentive to the public service motive that draws people to work in public organizations. Third, an emphasis on student learning not only from reading but also experiences. To develop the capacity for actions, a different style of learning is necessary. Learning the skills to support effective and responsible actions requires not only reading and discussing ideas but also improving people's capacity to act in pursuit of their ideas. For this reason, we try to present a solid foundation of ideas in which you can act but also provide opportunities and aids that you can use in developing your own personal, interpersonal, institutional skills in areas such as creativity, decision-making, communication, and group dynamics. And now, I'm going to share with you the motivational video and connections with my topic. Nothing will change unless you change. And this is my report. I'm Anita Apilo Domingo. Thank you so much.